Wubba dubba dub.
Wubba dubba dub.
There you go. I threw out the first laugh. Let's get the audience warmed up.
Let me make sure I got my...
You were definitely live. Definitely live. Oh, I didn't set up your cameras.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Go over to.
Oh, I'm at that one.
Double check those. Definitely there.
Yes.
Oh,
There's a desktop.
I was gonna
Link.
say.
That's Link. Giant mountain face. Hannibal the Cannibal Headland.
Hello, Clarice.
Afro podcaster.
Yeah.
Yes, this wig is a little hot.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
think it's gonna
this won't
stay on-
last long.
I don't
Yeah.
think it's going to stay on the entire episode.
Nope, gotta have it on the whole time.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorg,
Whole time.
Sorg has spoken.
You have to. Dedicate to the gimmick.
I'll do what I can.
All right. You good? Do you have all three of
Let me check.
I'm not there.
He's still he's a
I'm a desktop.
he's a screensaver. Or
Yeah.
yeah, desktop. Link is a desktop. Can you guys hear me? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Hannibal, how are you doing?
Hannibal.
Let me give you. Sorry.
Could go for a
Got all the things.
bottle of Chianti.
Couch, 2. Boom. That should be it, right? 1, 2, 3.
There we
Oh,
go.
cool. There I am.
There you go. Everybody happy?
Oh, jeez.
All right.
Morty's right behind you.
Yeah, he is right behind me.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Keeps happening. I keep bumping.
Spider Link, Spider Link.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm running away.
Does whatever a spider
I'm
thinks.
running away so you can do a show.
Can you guys actually hear me through this?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, perfect.
Why is he muffled?
Yeah.
Actually,
Please mention that.
Link, this is the best you've ever sounded.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Okay. Duke, I feel bad. I should have brought a straw for your drink.
Yes. Yeah.
Good luck.
For my bottle of Chianti.
Just take it straight through that, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's gonna get messy.
it's also red.
Yeah, just pour it. Yeah.
One for me, one for my homies.
Yeah.
Well, see, I can be like Rorschach and like eat beans like this or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Eat beans.
Just roll it up.
There you go.
He's not stuck in here with us. We're stuck in here with him.
There's like a cognitive disconnect between
I'm trying to
me
just-
on the screen as Spider-Man and my body.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh wait, that is me.
Trying to decide if Dan, I don't know, with the Disco Dan hair, I guess.
Disco Dan.
Yeah.
It's kind of a. I feel like the what was the character's name from the IT crowd?
Oh, yeah.
Oh crap! I forget his name.
I don't know.
It was like
That's IT crowd. That one guy.
yeah.
That one guy
That
from
one
the
guy.
IT
Yeah.
crowd.
Yep, that one guy that no one can remember. It was like a weird name. It was like a one-word name or something. Like, now I got to look it up, or I'm gonna.
I think most names are one-word names.
But I mean, it was like an actual like word or something. It
Okay.
was like
Moss?
Yeah.
yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes, thank you
For the win.
Sorg coming in for the save.
Best series ever.
Yes.
All right.
All right. So
Just a little bit of feedback there on something.
Oh, that might have been my. I had just had my phone.
Oh,
on,
it's
maybe.
your phone probably. Yeah.
Stupid technology. All right. So I think, are you guys ready? Oh, wait, I don't even know what episode this is.
Yeah.
I don't even know where I'm at.
Yeah. I'm like, Lone Star.
Link's like, I'm running low on oxygen. Let's see.
I can't breathe in this thing.
All right. So I think the last that was 320. Okay, so this is going to be episode 330.
3:30.
Yes, not as much fun as 420.
Oh, yeah. That's a ways to go.
That's right. Well, for better or for worse, welcome to the Comic Book Pit podcast. I'm your host, Dan, Disco Dan, as I'm also called here in beautiful Beachview, Pennsylvania. We're good. And with me, as always, the co-host, Scott, the Hannibal Headland.
There you go.
Or the Cannibal. Not
The Hannibal.
the
Hannibal the Cannibal.
Hannibal, the Cannibal Headland.
Yeah.
Please never do that again. It looks really weird when you laugh through that mask.
Yeah.
Wait, could you
It's like I could be also be Slipknot or something. I think.
Can you stick your tongue through it?
Do I want to?
That's some weird questions.
Yes, I can.
Yeah. And then on the other end, equally as terrifying in a different way, Spider-Link.
Spider-Link.
Hello.
Spider-Link.
So
Let's find out what Spider-Link thinks.
Yes, this is going to be your one-stop shop for comic book reviews and discussions. Tonight I think we're gonna kind of merge our format a little bit for tonight.
Yeah.
We're gonna do some reviews and some talk, and try not to pass out from all the overheated plastics we're wearing on our heads and faces.
Yeah.
It smells interesting. Not really sure what fabric this is made out of, but
I think calling it fabric is kind of is a leap.
yeah, probably yes.
I mean, if you need to go to bonnet mode,
It's
you
just
could-
it's
no,
just
if you see me stop moving,
just look.
we'll just keep going.
yeah, just keep going.
Podcast verite. Pour one out to the Podfather, Nick Marino.
There you go.
So well, let's get started with some comic or no just some conversation. I know
Yeah.
Duke, you had something you wanted to bring up.
This is gonna be weird. Should I? I don't know.
It's up to you. Whatever you're comfortable doing.
Here, I'm gonna lift this off for now.
Yeah, while you're
Woo!
talking.
While I chop my head off here.
Careful with that sharp plastic.
Oh yeah. Here, we'll do it like that.
Just for kids.
Ooh, that's a look. Ooh,
I tell you
look at
what,
that.
I think you should
The
keep
hair?
that.
Yeah.
I might leave it. Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
nice. All right.
Your wife's gonna be like, "Honey, how was the podcast?" You'll be like, "Check out my new hair, dude."
She's watching it right now. I told her to tune in. I'm like, you don't want to miss this. I wanted to talk about the Baltimore Comic-Con that I recently attended. And first of all, thank you to the Baltimore Comic-Con for having us, as a comic book pit there to do the, kind of to experience the show and spread the good word of a great comic show.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's been, I want to say it was actually their 20th year, I believe.
Wow.
Or at least 20 years that they've been doing the show.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. And I haven't been there in like probably 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And was every bit as good as I remember it and better in many ways. And I brought stuff that I saw there.
Cool.
I had a lot of great experiences. First of all, I'll also say Baltimore Comic-Con is like a comic book fan's dream show, because they bring in their celebrity. They had a couple celebrities,
Okay.
like what you would expect from other shows, but their real celebrities are the writers and artists and creators of comic books, and like
That's awesome.
there's no shortage of awesome people there, and it's on every level too. It's from old school guys and geez, now I'm gonna forget some, but like Jim Lee, from that,
Okay.
that big of a name, to the people in Artist Alley, and these these are all people that are trying to break into the business, and it's and a lot of times, even with Artist Alley, you kind of are like, oh no, they're going to attack me, with their with their sales pitches, But honestly, the quality of work was amazing. Even for people that are trying to break in, like the level of work was really good. Even in where you would think like, oh, these are all just people. This is not like people. Drawn on a piece of paper and folded it in half and trying to sell it. This is it's quality work.
They brought their A game.
Yeah. I mean, so I also want to talk about the layout of the show. It was in a new venue from when I had been there. Like it was still in the convention center in the Inner Harbor, but they had moved it up the street just a little, to the other wing of the convention center. So that was a little new. It was all in the basement, or downstairs, I should say. But great layout, and they had it so you could experience a lot of different levels of the show, without it wasn't like segregated. There wasn't like like some of the shows. There's a wall, and then there's vendors, and then there's creators and stuff like that. Everything was integrated, so like if you immediately you walk in the door, you immediately turn left, you were seeing all the big celebrity names on that side, and then they also had their celebrity guests over there. If you looked right in front of you, you were right in vendor heaven. I mean, and it was, I actually knew some of the vendors just from doing toy shows, which was kind of cool. And I was like, you come all the way down from Ohio? And they're like, oh, yeah. And, shout out to Adams Action Comics, I think is what it's called, out in Ohio. He was there. And then Bill's Books and More from Ohio was also there. And then to the right-hand side, it was weird because there was sort of a level thing where on the right-hand side, it was a lot of well-known artists, but they weren't attached to a publisher.
Okay,
which also on the left-hand side there was publishers. So it was like you kind of got it all. As soon as you walked in the door, you could walk in any direction. And then as you kind of traveled down through the vendors area, then you got into that creators that are well-known but have broken loose from the Artist Alley.
Yeah.
Somebody like Katie Cook and David Peterson from, that does Mouse Guard.
Oh yeah.
And these guys, and they all so they were kind of like in that next level. And then like you would go back and they actually had a kids section, which was awesome. The only guy I knew there though was, I know Franco from the old days.
Oh yeah.
Franco and Art Balthazar.
Right.
Well, Franco was there. And then then Artist Alley was in the back, and it was like looking at the map, I was like, oh man, they got like shafted, they're like in the back of the hall. But it was so deep. I mean, it was like, like at New York Comic Con, it was like 200 or 300 tables of artists, and I was seeing a lot of people that I knew too from through there. So yeah, just the layout of the show was awesome. So my main goal though, like for me personally, was to get Adam Hughes to draw something.
Yeah. I saw what you posted, but let's see it.
I brought it with me.
Nice.
Because I figured I could show it off.
I have to take the mask off for this for sure.
I'll hold it up to the camera, but this is my Adam Hughes.
Yeah.
He drew this in 4 minutes, which is unbelievable. $50. He just looks at you real quick and
that looks awesome.
He's like, what do you want? And I'm like classic Princess Leia with the buns.
Yeah.
With the hair buns. He's like, okay. And then he just starts drawing, and then like it's so cool to watch him because when he does, I'm gonna hold it up again on camera, but like he comes down with this line off the shoulder and bounces it.
Yeah.
And when he does that, it's kind of like he's ending the drawing, and then
like a flourish.
Yeah, and he kind of does that because he does this portrait style for all characters. And then he started doing all the stars and everything in the back. I was like, he's not stopping. And then he just kind of paused and looked at it and then hit his initials, and he's like, there you go. And I was like, I was just like, I love it. And then I just backed away into the crowd and disappeared. Like, I didn't know what else to do. I was like, so
Thank you.
yeah. I was like, I love it, thank you. And I just melted into the scene.
Scott was like that gif of Homer
Homer.
Simpson
Yeah.
Yeah,
backing
it was
into the hedges.
unreal. So, and he did like 30 or 40 in the line before they capped it. So I was like number 8 in the line.
Oh wow.
Because we
You were
went on.
messing around.
Yeah, this was my goal, and I went on Friday, and I immediately got in line. Like I waited an hour ahead too,
Okay.
and that was the right thing to do because Saturday and Sunday the show was so busy. So Friday was the day to go, and then I also went to. You'll love this one, but I'm afraid to even show it. But I will. But another artist who's kind of getting a lot of notoriety nowadays is Nathan Zerdy. And he's doing a lot of cover art for underground, like not underground, but for comic shops and stuff like that. Do special variant covers,
Right.
And they're always like the cheesecake, you know. But he does like a pinup style, like and they're really like these sexy pinups, you know. But it's still like that Gil Elfgren, like old school, you know, poses, but just all sauced up for, you know, for the now.
Right.
So anyway, I was like, hey, man, how much do you charge for covers? You know, because I'm just talking. And I actually met him at Steel City Con a year or two ago, and I didn't even know it. But he's like, oh, yeah, I remember, you know, like talking to you. And so I'm like, well, how much do you charge? And he's like, how about $40? I'm like, here's a comic. So I hand him Harley Quinn.
Okay.
And I let him have it all weekend. And he did this... this crazy
Whoa.
Harley
I mean,
doing
it looks.
a flip,
Wow.
and I was like, "What?" And it's so funny. Oh yeah, he's taking. So this will be all over social media, but
Wow. That's.
but it says, but you flip it back over, you know, like right side up, and it's kind of funny because, and it says, "How do I get myself into these situations?" And you know, and this is the kind of stuff. Like this one, honestly, I thought is a little probably crazier than what he normally draws for,
Okay.
you know, for work. But I was like, this is still awesome. So this was, I mean, for me, this is the first time I've ever really had somebody do covers and like get artwork on them,
like a commission.
So these were the 2 I got, and you know, I was cracking up. And his art's insane. I ended up buying like a bunch of prints as well.
Yeah.
And wanted to talk about a couple other people I met, and then I'll be done.
And then the mask goes back on.
Yeah, and then the mask goes back on. I got to meet the guy that writes The Ride, which was pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like he's written the entire series, and he was telling me about how he selects artists to draw different, you know, because every issue is a different artist. So he was telling me just how that process works, which I thought that was pretty awesome. And I ended up picking his books up. So this one was another one Leela Lee's. I'll hold this up. And this is a new book that just came out this week called The Horde. There's a different cover in the comic book shops.
Oh, okay.
And this was the, you know, like a convention special cover.
Yeah.
So I was
That's cool.
like,
I like that cover. Yeah.
I don't know if you want to flip through
Sure.
it. But Crystal and I met Leela Lee's in at the New York Comic-Con special edition show.
Mm-hmm.
And it was literally her first show in America. Like that was just
Wow.
like a crazy thing. So like, you know, coming back and seeing her at another show and like how far she's progressed, because like she works with Aftershock, and she's been doing books with them for ever since, you know.
Yeah, this looks cool.
Yeah, and actually Marshall Dillon lettered that
I
book
saw
too.
it. I saw his name on the cover.
Yeah,
That's
which
great.
I was like, yeah, I know Marshall Dillon. She's like, oh yeah, he's a great guy. And she basically was like, I never met him. I don't know him. But I was like, no, he's cool. He's cool. And so that was just one of them cool things, you know, just to meet see somebody progress like that. And then, and her works, I mean, you got to follow her Instagram if any, like, because she'll doodle the craziest stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yeah, I saw something in there. It was
Yeah.
interesting.
yeah, this is it's an interesting book. Basically, Horde is about this girl inherits the family house, but the house is like possessed.
Gotcha. So yeah.
Yeah. So that's the Horde apparently.
Yeah,
So,
I know. I saw the thing that kind of looked like a Cenobite mixed with like the three-breasted lady from
right.
from whatchamacallit.
Yeah. The other person that I wanted to mention was this was just me being a crazy loon, and not wearing a Hannibal mask. Was I met Carl Moline,
Oh yeah.
who had illustrated all the Buffy comics for
Right.
quite a while. I don't know if you
how-
if you remembered him. And he did Frey.
Oh, was that his name?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Carl Moline, right?
There were two like main artists. There was Carl Moline, I think first, and then George's.
I'm
Gente.
thinking
Oh,
of George's
George's
Jonty.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
that's
came-
right.
He came later. but
Right.
he also did a lot, but yeah, Carl Moline did a lot too.
That's right. So this
Yeah.
was Carl, and
Okay.
he was talking about how long he's been in the business. I'm like, wait, how old are you? And he's like 46. I'm like, oh, I'm
my
40.
God.
I'm 47.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I'm almost
right.
46.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And he's like, I've been. But like, what was crazy about him was he was just talking so much about the positivity of life, and then he had like this philosophy that he wanted to share. And I was like, dude, you're like, I was like, you're so on my wavelength, you're freaking me out. Like, because he was just had all these crazy deep thoughts that he wanted to share. And I was like, this is like the best. And then I was like, well, like how much are your prints? He's like, I don't even care. He's like, this is worth more to me than money. Like this
Wow.
conversation. And I was like, oh my God, like this is so cool. And I was just like, this is like a soul brother kind of thing. I was like, this is weird, dude. And
Yeah.
like, I even threw out, because I always have these crazy thoughts about life. And I even threw a couple at him just to see what he would do. And he's like, that's really cool. That's really interesting. And then, I was like, okay, you're messing with me now. And no, but it was awesome.
That's great.
So
That's nice because you don't often get interactions with that level at a show like this. Where
right.
most people, I mean, not in a bad way, but most people are there for a specific reason to
Yeah.
get exposure or to make some bucks
Yeah.
or to get in front of the fans.
Yeah.
But to have like a real personal,
like a real conversation.
yeah, something that you'll remember
yeah.
for a while. That's he's right. That is worth more than money.
He was.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was great. And now he's trying to basically he's making inroads back into comics. He said he got out of it for a little bit, but still working. Graphic design, doing his thing.
Oh, he's a talented dude.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
he's like
I would love to see
multi-talented,
him. I never really
designer.
I never really knew
so-
that I kind of forgot about him, but I just
Yeah.
I would have not thought that he was out of the game.
Right, and that's
know.
usually I think what happens with a lot of comic artists too is they just change and go into a different field or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think I even like Guy Davis is my favorite. Like he's my guy.
That's
He's
your
my guy.
Yeah.
But I saw his name just the other night on something he was credited, and I was like, what? Like like on a show, like because he's in like doing Hollywood type stuff now. So it's like, well, that's why I didn't keep drawing BPRD. Like that makes sense. But there was tons of other people we talked to. We met so many people there, and I can't think of all of them. And I actually still want to write just do a written review for the for the site.
Yeah.
So, but I'll leave it at that. And Baltimore is like a slam dunk show, to go.
Oh, absolutely.
So-
yeah. I mean, I haven't been in years, but I still remember going, and yeah, I mean, I need to get back.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure it's only grown by leaps and bounds since I've been there.
The Friday day is awesome too, because if you have books that you want signed or get artwork, you jump in and there's no wait.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a little bit of wait. Like we were standing by Jeff Lemire he was busy,
Sure.
like nonstop.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who else we saw that was just funny. Oh shoot, I can't remember his name. I'll put it up in the photos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's
anyway,
awesome.
Baltimore. Go see it next year.
Definitely.
So. And I'll pull my mask down. Back into character.
Well, just to real quick transition from that to another show, since we are the official podcast of the Three Rivers Comic Con.
We are.
Yes. So there have been a couple of, just to throw it out there real quick, got a couple of guest announcements
Ooh.
that I got the okay to. Well, they were already announced at the last cosplay karaoke that we had down at the Hard Rock. But I know a couple people that are coming that I'm not authorized to reveal yet.
He's got inside info.
But the ones I can reveal, Brett Breeding
Ooh.
is coming back.
All right.
If you're a fan of like 90s Superman, he was a big right, Duke. He did a lot of work with like Ron Friends and
Yeah.
it was like a 90s Superman mafia of those guys over at DC, and Guy Gilchrist.
Oh, nice.
Who did a lot of work on the Muppets
Yeah.
comic.
Yeah, I met him recently
Oh yeah.
out at it's not, I don't know what they call the show, but it was like Cleveland Comic Con. He is awesome.
Yeah. Well,
That dude is so nice.
Well, he's coming to town.
And he has tons of artwork for sale, like Muppet stuff. Like
Yeah.
it's so good. So
and I think he also did some work on like TMNT
yeah.
and some. Yeah, I don't remember exactly what, but the guy's got a huge body of work.
Yeah, he does. And he has all this original artwork he has with him, like for sale. And it's incredible.
Yeah.
He was super nice. He was like their celebrity at that show. Like they had one, and we got to talk to him for like 10 minutes.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So so he's coming to town, and like I said, then Brett Breeding, who I think he was not at the last year's Three Rivers Comic Con, but I think he was at the one the year before,
Yeah.
or maybe he was there. I don't remember. It's all blur, but yeah. So more guests as they are announced.
That's awesome.
And John also wanted me to remind everyone that for announcements like this and for to get advanced notices and a heads up on all kinds of things about the Three Rivers Comic Con, that there is a specific 3RC mailing list that you can sign up for.
Ooh.
So if you go to threeriverscomiccon.com, you can sign up to kind of be first in the know for all that 3RC goodness. So let's see.
Oh yeah, I met Frank Cho. I forgot that.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. Well, I haven't met him before.
Wait, I was gonna say you've probably met him before.
I met him
right?
many. Yeah. But yeah, Frank Cho was
Yeah.
there too. Oh my God.
The Monkey Boy.
Yeah.
Himself.
He had his book of Outrage.
Oh right.
So it's all the collected sketch covers that he's done. They were all collected into one book.
Oh, my gosh.
I had to buy it. I was like, yeah, give me that.
Talk about like taking something and just making
Yeah.
money hand over fist
Yeah.
over it.
So good.
Yeah, God love you, Frank Cho. Keep making that money, man, off of his boobs and butts. Keep it going. So I don't know. You guys want to talk about some comics?
Sure.
Cool. I'm gonna go first if you guys don't mind.
Go for it.
So I think it's no big secret my feelings overall about Batman
Oh boy.
of late. No, but this is good.
Okay.
This is good. So
City of Bane.
no, I it's not any of the regular issues.
Oh.
I heard about the annual
Oh.
Batman annual number 4, written by Tom King,
Nice.
but also but the art by Jorge, I think it's Fornes, who I'm a big fan of. He's got a great clean style. It's very reminiscent of like like a David Mazzucchelli. So like, and the annual is basically a series. It's the title of it is From the Diary of Alfred Pennyworth, and it's literally like just a series of 1 or 2, maybe at the most 3-page vignettes, just these short blasts of Batman's career. And this is like old school Batman, where he's like he looks like year one Batman because he's got like the black cape but he's got like the kind of the big bulky belt, utility belt, no gadgets, no armor, nothing like that. But it's just it's Alfred telling these, just recounting different adventures and cases for over the years, and it's everything from like Batman chasing bank robbers on horseback over the roofs of Gotham, to him like fighting a dragon in the middle of Gotham City because Gotham is apparently cursed, to him fighting a ultimate like a mixed, like an MMA fighter for charity, and to a murder mystery, to he's riding a kaiju at one point, and he catches a train from underneath it. He's in space, he's underwater. It's all these like great classic, like almost like Silver Agey types of stories, and like I said, they're all just real quick hits. Like one, like they start off, when the book starts, it's like the stories are, and again, they're not even really stories. Like I said, they're just these adventures or cases told from Alfred's recounting them in his diary. They like, I think the first one is like 4 pages, and like the next ones are like 3 pages each. And it's funny because as it gets towards the end, it's just like real quick blasts. Like one panel is this, one panel is this, one panel is this, and it's just
Nice.
and it's just these great single images, and and I loved it. Like, this is a book that you could give to anyone. Like, ignore the fact that it's an annual. It's like a great, because I feel like annuals get a bad rap because people, I think, tend to skip them, or like, there's like nothing important happens in this one or whatever if it's not part of an event or something.
Atlantis attacks. Yeah.
So, but this is, I'll say this: anyone who likes Batman or who's at all remotely interested in just reading a pure Batman book with no ties to any events, any other characters, I think you get a glimpse of like Robin at one point and like Catwoman, but like, again, it's almost like photographs.
Yeah.
It's almost like a photo album of all these just crazy events that happen throughout, this period of time in Batman's career. And I loved reading it. It was amazing. And like I said, it was written by Tom King, who I've got like a love-hate relationship with. But the art was amazing. Oh, and Mike Norton does some of the art too. He fills in towards the end, and he does a really good job of like he apes Fornes's style enough to keep it like a continuity of art styles, but you can still tell it's still Mike Norton.
Yeah.
But he does a really good job of keeping the art like kind of on task. It makes me a little sad and a little upset that there wasn't more of this type of storytelling in the regular Batman series.
Right.
It's like if there had been more just fun stories like this, I might have stuck around.
What about Kite Man?
Okay,
No,
I'll give you
yeah.
Kite Man.
Hell yeah.
But I just feel like his run overall, while yes, I know it's like critically acclaimed, and I did enjoy it for a bit. It always felt very heavy. You know what I mean? Like his Tom King's run, I think he's got a lot to say, and he really knows the type of story he wants to tell. But there's like, if he had just infused a portion of the joy and fun and like sheer sense of adventure that, if he took just a portion of that from this annual and was able to spread it out throughout his book,
Yeah.
I think it would have made it a more, just like a better balanced
Yeah.
book, as opposed to what I feel it is just, like I said, it's just real heavy, it's real dark, it's just moody, and like I said, I that's part of the like I said, I stopped reading because I just stopped enjoying it.
Okay.
But this annual is like the anti that.
Okay.
So
Did this just come out?
I think like
last week,
maybe
or-
a week or
Yeah, it was
like
a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
like a week or
I
two
I
ago.
missed it, I guess. I'll have to look for it.
See, exactly. See,
Yeah.
people miss annuals.
Yeah.
And again, through no fault of their own. Well, I mean, like I said, some people purposely skip an annual. I mean, I know I've skipped annuals.
So, well, I mean, a lot of annuals are bad, if only because. I mean, sometimes they'll tie into the story, but other times they'll just be not the original writer for the run. Like it'd be like Tom King didn't write the annual; it was just some extra up and coming writer
Yeah,
that they're
just
like,
to fill in.
"Here, write
Yeah.
a Batman story," and then you're like, "Well,
Yeah.
I guess."
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're totally right, Link. Sometimes like annuals have definitely been used to give like lesser known talent a chance to
Yeah, it gives them some work.
write
Mhm.
something
the
or draw
editors-
something.
The editors get a look at what they can do or
Yeah.
Yeah.
not do or whatever. So
But this annual, it's well worth checking out. I think I heard that this might have been technically the last Batman issue that he has actually written.
85 is the last.
But I mean, I think this, like the
Oh,
No, he wrote this after.
After-
he
yeah, like the timing of it,
after he finished the
right?
other-
So this was like
okay.
the last thing that he actually wrote. That's still part of the Batman.
But I guess is
line.
he doing a Batman and Catwoman?
He's doing that, yeah.
But I think that doesn't
So-
that come out in 2020? Doesn't that
I mean,
come
that's
out?
not too
Probably,
far off.
yeah. I mean, that's 2 months off,
yeah,
so
it's not too far away.
Yeah.
yeah.
But no, like I said, I totally loved this annual, and I would recommend it to anybody. Go get
Okay.
it. Batman Annual number 4.
You're like, buy it, Scott.
Go get it. Yes, I'm looking at you, Hannibal.
Go eat it up.
Enjoy it with a fine Chianti.
There it is. Do you want to go next, or do you want me
I
to
don't
go?
know who you're pointing at.
Yeah, Spidey.
Yeah, sure. So one of the weird things I've been doing, I've been kind of reading a bunch of limited series from Marvel to catch up on important continuity things that have occurred that are relevant right now. For example, I don't remember if I talked about it on the show, but I read the Life and Times of Captain Marvel
Oh,
like
yeah.
a month ago or something because of her Kree parentage is here to stay, I guess.
Yeah.
Which that was a really good book. But the other thing I read was Rage of Ultron because Ultron Hank Pym is a very prevalent thing in like almost every book I've been reading from Marvel.
Oh.
They're doing a big push with him, particularly with the Dan Slott Iron Man book, and apparently that happened in Rage of Ultron, which was an original graphic novel thing that
Yeah.
Rick Remender and I'm blanking on the artist, but who were you saying?
Oh,
you thought
it was Jerome Pena.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, so it was an interesting story that was told between two different timelines. The original, like, shortly after, maybe not shortly after Ultron was a thing, but early on it was like, Quicksilver, Wanda, and like all those folks taking on Ultron, tricking him into launching himself into space, or they like trapped him in a thing and
Yeah.
like shot him off into the sun or something, and then the fallout of that, which is like the modern day Marvel, where it's Spider-Man. I was telling Dan on the car ride over Sabretooth,
Oh, yeah.
because I guess that was a thing, and some of the more modern people. Obviously Falcon, Captain America, and Jane
Oh,
Foster
yeah.
Thor. So
Okay.
All of them dealing with the fallout of Ultron coming back. And it was like a whole story about trying to think of the best way to say, like Hank Pym's relation with Ultron and AI in general, I guess. At the tail end of it, like at the beginning, you see Hank being very hopeful about AI and like maybe Ultron can change and blah blah blah. And then by in modern day, Hank Pym's like, "No, fuck it, kill every robot." And Vision's like, "What the fuck?" So there's like this whole like argument over like the ethics of killing AI and this and that. And long story short, at the end of this story, somehow Hank Pym and Ultron become one.
Oh.
Hank Pym makes some like ultimate sacrifice kind of thing, and like they merge with Ultron.
Wow.
Which is why there's a half Ultron Hank Pym that's running around the Marvel universe right now.
Oh,
but when it first came out, I totally skipped it because I was like, "Oh, it's an original graphic novel. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'll get to it if I hear
Right.
good things." And then all of a sudden, I think I was reading Ant-Man by Nick Spencer, and they're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, Hank Pym's dead." I was like, "When did that happen?"
You're like, wait.
Yeah,
a
see, I
minute.
didn't even know that. I knew about Rage of Ultron, but I never bothered to pick it up because I just thought, oh, it's just like they're going to tell like an out of continuity
Yeah, exactly.
story, and I'm sure it's good because it's got like quality people behind it. But I'm not really interested in reading it.
Yeah,
But I feel like I'm going to read it.
yeah. No, it seemed very relevant to a lot of the stuff. Like, I was reading the second issue of Agents of Wakanda. And in that particular issue, they were showing everybody like their greatest fears and nightmares, and there was Ultron, Hank Pym terrorizing the Wasp, and I was like, okay, I guess this is the thing. This is what we're worrying about.
How great is it that we have Spider-Man here talking about the Rage of Ultron?
Yep.
He's like, here I am sitting
Yeah.
there trying to have
Pretty
a
amazing.
nice,
The whip.
pretty amazing, yeah, spectacular.
But yeah, no, it was a really good read. I want to say it was like maybe 80, 90 pages or something
Oh,
worth of
man.
comic for
Okay.
like $15.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's like hardcover. It was a nice, like, kind of slightly oversized.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, and I always forget that they do this, but I subscribe to Marvel Unlimited.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's on there.
And and I always forget that they do that. They have been known to put on like their OGNs and their Treasury edition, or not Treasury editions, but like back in the day, Duke, you probably remember they had like their original graphic novels that were like the oversized, like tabloid size things.
Like the Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
like
Death of
the
Captain
original.
Marvel. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have some of those on Marvel Unlimited too, but I know they definitely have Rage of Ultron.
Nice.
So I'll have to check.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm going to probably read that tonight.
Sweet.
Like I'm jumping in.
I'm going to turn on my disco ball
Yeah, there you go.
and read it.
Get in rage.
That's right.
Yeah.